If you want to play Hound Dog, the Elvis Presley tune, it helps if you associate the movements of your hands on the keyboard with the lyrics of the song. Start, if this is middle C, you start with the E flat above it, fourth finger, and middle C itself, index finger. And if you're going to go, you ain't nothing but a hound dog, you're going to use those notes, E flats, nothing but a, and then hound dog will be two C's. Hound dog. So get it so that it feels like the lyric. You ain't nothing but a hound dog. And then crying starts on the same E flat. All the time is all G A C. All the time. Crying all the time. So you start from the beginning, the count off, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Then we repeat, you ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't. You start out on the same E flat for well, you ain't never caught a rabbit. There's a bunch of D's. You go, never caught a rabbit and you. Bunch of D's. And then we finish it. Ain't no friend of mine. You notice if I go friend, it's kind of scooping up. Oh, I can play that as C, friend. 2 E flats. Ain't no friend of mine. So that last phrase, starting from, well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, starts with the E flat. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. The bass is a 12-bar blues in its most basic form. Key of C, and a C major triad. That is to say, C, E, and G. It's all you have to have for the C chord. And you'll play a rhythm that goes 1, 2, and 3, 4. 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 And then you just lift your hand for the next 4-bar phrase starting on F. And you do 2 F's just the same way. F, A, C, F, A, C. Back to C, E, to C. And the last bar, the last phrase rather, consists of 1 G, 1 F, 1 C, and then a C downbeat with the rest of the bar empty. So it'll sound like this. G, F, C, 2, 3, 4, and then we start again. So if you make that gap at the end of the 12 bars, it helps you to remember where one chorus ends and the next one begins. And it's kind of what Elvis did when he did it on the Ed Sullivan Show, although the gaps varied, from chorus to chorus, but there was always some kind of a drum fill to sort of separate the choruses. It's a lot easier to sing with this bass than it is to coordinate it with the right hand playing the melody. But I'll do both at once, really slowly, and I hope that you can pick out which bass notes happen to correspond with which words. That's the best way to sort of feel the coordination of it. And remember that the tune starts before the bass does. So you're going to count, if you're counting it off, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ain't nothing but a... And then the bass will come in not until the word hound dog. I'll go real slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. A little faster. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. When you ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. If you want to add chords to this bass, if somebody is improvising, I suggest the following. Put your fourth finger on middle C, the thumb on G, then the index finger on A, and the fifth finger on E. That's G, A, C, E. And think of this as your C chord, the voicing for your C chord. And you play with the first two notes in the bass, and then the bass plays the thumb by itself. Easy enough. It sounds like this. C. Now to make the F, you move the left hand up to the F, and then the fifth finger of the right hand goes down to the E flat. So it's a very small move in the right hand. You're on C. You move inward to the F. And then outward to the E, the C. To get to the G, just lift your right hand, keep the position, and go up one step to A, B, D, F. And the left hand, I suppose, if you're on the G here with your thumb, you just sort of shift your fifth finger onto the same G. And you go G. Down a step, both hands to the F. But you got to remember that it will be the E flat rather than the E natural. So the F is this, and then outward to the C. The last four bars, starting from the G, they go 2, 3, 4. One reason I like these chords is that it's an easy place to start improvising from. So if you've not used to improvising, you can just use the notes of the chord and come up with an improv which is perfectly acceptable. Right? So I go 2, 3, boom. The E flat and the C are really good through the whole piece. With the exception of right here. They don't work very well over the G chord, so you're better off to go D and F there maybe.